What's up, guys? Currently live from the south side of Atlanta, Georgia. We are actually going to be heading down south into portions of the Florida Panhandle here pretty soon, but I just want to go over a few updates and instead of texting here, just kind of go over what's currently going on. So here's the basic track of the system. It's now officially a Category 1 hurricane with sustained winds of 80, gusts up to 100. It could be even stronger than that because that was the latest update probably since like an hour ago, so it could be stronger than that as well. But the system is likely to be tracking north. It's going to rapidly intensify, and we're going to see the system actually become, a Category 3 pretty quick. Latest update has Category here, near the armpit of Florida, and it shows it going in, west of Alligator Point. And, what I really want to bring up here is that the storm surge is going to be big time on these areas just on the east side of the system. So if the eye is here and it's tracking like this, that means all these areas right here are going to be significantly impacted by significant storm surge. I can't even roll the chance of seeing up to 20-foot storm surge if this storm comes in as a Category 4. Alligator Point, Shell Point Beach, all these areas right here, just on the eastern side of the system coming in, is going to be big time storm surge, and that's why I'm thinking about deploying surge probes at Alligator Point, probably Shell Point Beach, in those areas, because those areas are going to be well impacted by storm surge. Between 10 to 20-foot storm surge is water on top of high tide, on top of 20 to 40-foot waves being pushed inland, and there's not a lot of protection to these areas. If I go over here and show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's go to Google Chrome. Let's go here. So here's the system. Here's the system spinning right here, just passing off to the east of Cancun. A little bit of dry air is trying to infiltrate, getting closer, but it's not going to get close to the equator. There's some really hot towers here, and moisture is feeding it behind this, so that should saturate the environment right there where that dry air is going to mix out here pretty soon. But we should get an eye here as we drift north away from Cancun later on tonight. Visible satellite here from a larger picture here showing that system really blown up this morning. The convection was very tall, very explosive, but we got closer a little bit to land. Convection started winding down just a tiny bit, but I think when we drift off to the north and northeast, and we really get well developed even more further on, I think we're going to undergo rapid intensification. It won't take long for this system become a Category 2 or 3 storm going into tonight or tomorrow morning. But we will be live streaming live later on tonight on the beach, giving the updates, and the winds starting to pick up because these outer bands from the system alone, are going to be impacting portions of the the Panhandle starting late tonight to tomorrow morning, where we could see winds already gusting sustained 30 to 40 on the beach and coast areas. And we got to worry about the tornado threat going into portions of central and southern Florida as well with these outer bands. You can some water spouts come inland, some tornadoes that quickly wrap up in with these outer bands, and a lot of heavy torrential rainfall that could lead to flash flooding inland as well across portions of central and southern Florida. So that's something else to watch out for. Like I said, looking at the Google map here, we look at Google Maps here, and we pull up these areas here. They're well known to see storm surge. Like Alligator Point, you have water on both sides of that cape with those, those homes. I hope those people are not staying there. The storm, tracks the way it's supposed to, and it's tracking even further more west and turning straight north, and then coming inland pretty quick. It's going to push that water really far. I wouldn't be surprised storm surge comes about a mile inland. Those areas are already below sea level. You got, Alligator Point, Shell Point Beach I'm talking about, even pushing towards Crawfordville. I feel like all these areas have to be on high alert for, potential significant storm surge. Also watching the potential of where the storm surge lines up with high tides. We could even see a little bit of storm surge flooding starting late tonight or tomorrow morning if those winds start consistently, because we'll have winds out of the east or southeasterly, so that'll be pushing the water on shore. If we have strong enough wind gusts, and those wave heights will start building even way far out ahead of the system itself. So let's go down here. There we go. I had to click on the terrain. I don't know what it's. My maps are just not loading right now. Alright, while we're waiting for that to load, I was checking out a couple of the forecast models, like the HAFSA has it coming in right there pretty strong. Category 4 storm going right in there. But the model that's really consistently shown that westward push is the H1, showing worse. And it's pretty much on track with the NHC, but look at those strong winds pushing onshore flow with the right side eyewall there, bearing Alligator Point, going into Shell Point Beach right there. That would be devastating right there. Look at that. Yeah, that's why we're starting to see it. I think the system's going to get pulled north. I don't think it's going to go much east than what we're already looking at right now. I feel like it's going to be pulled north. Like I said, those areas that I mentioned, Shell Point Beach, Alligator Point, those areas would be very vulnerable to storm surge. Storm surge is probably the worst way to die if you're staying at your home. Even if you're on stilts, the ground underneath you, the beach erosion, the ground becomes eroded by non-stop waves pounding that area. And it won't take long for houses on stilts to collapse. The winds combined with the waves and the surge and everything eroding around. It might survive, it might not, but are you willing to take that risk? That's the question. This is like the first biggest system so far of the year for the Gulf of Mexico that's been a well-sustained hurricane that's starting to develop. And, I feel like the pattern's going to be more consistent as we go into the end of this month, into next month as well. It's like finally the peak part of the season that was supposed to happen a while ago is now happening now. So I mean, the system's really starting to get their act together. All right, so the Google Maps already loaded. Here's Alligator Point. This is going to be on the right side of the eye wall, right? So you can see there's water on both sides of this area. There's water on both sides of Alligator Point. There's just this small cape area going out, and there's homes on both sides. The right side of the eye wall is going to be hidden right here. This will be the strongest winds on the right side of the eye wall, hidden right here with the onshore flow and storm surge. This whole cape will be underwater. I promise you, all these homes will be devastated and damaged severely if the system is still on track with the NHC. The right side of the eye wall will pass right over this area where winds will be gusting up to 95 to 155 mile an hour. Sustained winds is 120. That's what they're predicting on the right side of the eye wall. 120 sustained winds. So like I said, this is big. And if you're on the Cape over here, there's water on both sides here. I mean, you're not going to survive this if the surge is coming right over this Alligator Point. All these places right here are going to be underwater. And also you got Bald Point. All these places right here. And then back over here is right here, Shell Point Beach. That's the other area that I'm worried about. All these areas right here on the right side near Bald Point State Park, Bald Point, Piney Island, Shell Point Beach, Alligator Point, all these areas right here on the right side, they're going to have significant impacts for storm surge. I mean, you could try riding out this system, but it won't take much for that water to be pushed on shore, and you already have above average water levels at this point. You get the high tide coming in, the combination of the wave height and the surge, all that combined together just is devastating. That water is going to come inland pretty far. And it's very important that you guys, if you're not experienced, you're not down there storm chasing, you're not down there for media, there's no reason for you to be down there on the coast. There's no reason for you to be down there, I mean, just to be down there to be a thrill seeker at this point. But it is a very well-developed system. And like I said, it needs to get away from Cancun, and it's really going to take off as it goes north, northeast at this point. So but that's about it with this live weather update. Obviously there's more details to come. But as of right now, that's that's all the information we have at this point, and we'll be heading down there from Atlanta, Georgia here pretty soon. Make sure to follow my social medias, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, all those, and you'll be able to watch everything live as well. All the areas on the west coast of Florida should just be ready for storm surge regardless, where your area is going to be impacted, because all the west coast of Florida is going to experience some sort of storm surge at this point. So just make sure that you know what you're dealing with here and what you're walking into here. All right. Shell Point. Peak winds forecast 90 to 110 miles an hour with gusts to 135. That's what they're estimating, right? And you got the storm surge 11 to 15 feet and even higher. So yeah, it's going to be pretty nasty out here. So make sure you stay tuned, guys, and I'll be talking to you guys soon once we're down there.